That time, 2 SAS operators were beheaded. 2 SAS soldiers beheaded, confirmed. Earlier, Britain was shocked by the report that the SAS men had been beheaded and their heads publicly displayed in Taiz, twin capital of Yemen. How did it come to this? The Queteibi tribes, known for their martial skills and cunning, had long been controlled by Britain through financial aid and weaponry. With the British withdrawal, North Yemen, which had become communist after a 1962 coup, exploited the resulting power vacuum. Communist guerrillas from the north supplied the tribesmen with weapons and Marxist ideology. In January 1964, the combined forces attacked government and British convoys on the Aden-Dhala highway, causing significant casualties and effectively shutting down the road. Radfan. To address the uprising, a joint reaction force, Radfan, was deployed, comprising Royal Marine Commandos from 4-5 Commando, paratroopers from B Company 3 Para, infantry and armour, supported by RAF air and transport. The mission aimed for total destruction, focusing on capturing the rebel stronghold noted as Cap Badge, a 3,700-foot mountain, with the SAS assisting in marking the drop zone due to the lack of a dedicated Pathfinder unit. Free beer. On 22 April, A Squadron, led by Major Peter de la Billière, was in England recovering from a tour in Borneo when they received the code word Free Beer. Scheduled for desert warfare training in Aden, they established their base in Thumia, a desert town 30 miles from North Yemen. Although the squadron was at full strength, only 1 troop was needed for the Cap Badge mission. 9 men from 3 Troop, commanded by Captain Robin Edwards, who had overcome polio to join the SAS, were chosen for the task. This experienced patrol was well trained in signal work and cross-trained in other specialities, organised into 2 4-man teams, each led by a sergeant. They carried a mix of weapons and equipment, including SLR and M16 rifles, a Bren light machine gun, and an L42 sniper rifle, and had combat experience from previous deployments in Malaya and Borneo. On the night of 29 April, scout helicopters dropped 3 Troop near the target mountain, intending for them to march in the cover of darkness, hide during the day, and mark the drop zone by nightfall on 30 April. A few miles into their trek, signaller Trooper Warburton fell critically ill. Captain Edwards redistributed Warburton's gear and adjusted their pace, but soon suspected they were being watched. Evacuating Warburton was deemed too risky, so they chose to hide and hope his condition improved. They took up a defensive position on a ridge and waited for dawn. When daylight came, a scene began to unfold that was, as others have pointed out, uncannily similar to one that would face another SAS patrol almost 3 decades later. And so it was that they saw a goat herd moving towards them. Despite their concealment, the herder spotted them and began shouting. A sniper shot silenced him, but the shot's echo alerted others in the valley. It begins. Within minutes, a rebel force arrived, searching for the source of the gunfire. The troopers took aim and opened fire, killing several rebels and scattering the rest. A few tribesmen attempted to outflank their position but were swiftly cut down. Rebel reinforcements, eager for a fight, soon arrived and occupied the ridges overlooking the patrol's location. If the troopers tried to break out, they would be easy targets in the broad daylight. Captain Edwards called for urgent air support and instructed the men to conserve ammunition, anticipating a prolonged engagement. A pair of Hawker Hunter jets arrived and strafed the ridges, but the camouflaged rebels hiding behind boulders proved difficult targets. The aircraft quickly ran out of ammunition and left to resupply. As the intensity of the firefight increased, the rebels pressed forward. The jets returned, but the enemy was now too close for effective strikes. A helicopter sent to evacuate the patrol came under heavy fire and barely made it back to base. By late afternoon, the men were exhausted. In the midst of exchanging nods of encouragement, Trooper Baker was struck by a 303 bullet, shattering his kneecap and killing Warburton. Trooper Hamilton was also wounded, though less severely. Their radio was destroyed, and a charge of 70 rebels was narrowly repelled by Sergeant Tasker's skillful use of the Brengan. Breakout. As night approached, they decided to attempt an escape, planning to move in 2 groups to increase their chances of survival. Unfortunately, they had to leave Warburton's body behind. There was no way to carry him while evading the rebels. Captain Edwards was then killed by a bullet as he advanced, and the remaining men vanished into the night under heavy fire. The rebels made 2 attempts to catch up, but were ambushed both times by the rearguard. With no water and covered in dust and sweat, the patrol reached Thumia by morning. Aftermath. Although the planned parachute jump didn't take place, Radfan ultimately captured Catbadge after a month of intense fighting. Captain Edwards and Trooper Warburton's remains were horribly violated, the rebels displaying their severed heads in Taiz, the twin capital of Aden. The men's bodies were eventually recovered by the British. Conclusion. During the remainder of their Radfan deployment, the SAS concentrated on special reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. Operating from remote observation posts high in the mountains, they monitored and reported on rebel and North Yemeni movements, requesting air and artillery support as needed. That's all on this production about the SAS in Aden for now. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.